Hi friends, today I'm going to deal an important bill that was brought by the government of India, and recently Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has introduced a bill in the Lok Sabha. This bill aims at abolishing the retrospective taxation system in our country. And what is this retrospective taxation system? And when this system was brought, what were the problems with that system? And with this abolition, how it is going to affect our economy, those things now I am going to discuss. Finance Minister has introduced a bill in the Lok Sabha. The bill name is Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2021. This bill is not retrospective taxation bill, but the bill is Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2021. That means this bill is going to amend the existing taxation laws, and particularly the Income Tax Act of 1961 is going to be amended with this particular bill. And this bill aims at abolishing this retrospective taxation system. See, what is this retrospective taxation system? Retrospective taxation means you are bringing a new legislation to tax a person from previous days. That means from previous time. Suppose just assume today I am bringing an act in the parliament that I am going to tax you from last 20 years, or I am going to tax you from last 50 years. This is what the retrospective taxation means. That means you are bringing a legislation today which is going to have an effect from the previous time. Generally, if you bring a law, it has to apply from today, but in this retrospective system, this is apply from the previous date. This type of legislations are accepted under Indian constitution, but under criminal laws you cannot bring any retrospective legislations. But in case of civil and taxation laws, you can bring the retrospective legislations that is permitted under Indian constitution. But if you want to understand exactly what is this issue and why it has necessitated for the government to bring this bill, you need to know some important issue. Okay, so first I'll give a brief introduction to that, and after that I'll come to the specific bill. See, in the year 2012, a major amendment was brought by the then Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee to the Income Tax Act of 1961. So, what is the main theme of that particular legislation or bill? That legislation has amended retrospectively from 1962 onwards. That means the legislation brought in the year 2012 has an effect to the previous 50 years. And why he has brought that bill? Because to tax some of the foreign companies. To tax some of the foreign companies. And why it has necessitated for the government to tax the foreign companies, I'll tell you now. See, there are some companies called Vodafone and Kane Energy. These are the two famous cases. But apart from that, there are other 15 cases are there. In total 17 cases are there with respect to this issue. But I'll give one example of Vodafone so that you can understand the remaining 17 cases, because it follows the same process. See, the Vodafone, what it has done is, prior to 2012, that means in the year 2007, the Vodafone has purchased the shares of Hutchison SR company in India. Hutchison SR company is there in India, and the Hutchison SR company's parent company is Hutchison Whampoa. So this Hutchison Whampoa is a Hong Kong based company, and Hutchison's Whampoa's subsidiary company is Hutchison SR in India. Now Vodafone want to purchase the shares of the Hutchison SR in India through its subsidiary company. Through its subsidiary company, which is placed in the Dutch or Netherlands. That company name is Hutch. So you have to understand very carefully here. There is a company in India called Hutchison SR, its parent company is Hutchison Whampoa based in Hong Kong, but Vodafone want to purchase the shares of Hutchison SR with its subsidiary called Hutch, which was placed in Netherlands. Now the transaction has happened somewhere in Cayman Island, and the transaction happened between the Vodafone subsidiary company and the Hong Kong based the Hutchison Whampoa, the parent company of Hutchison SR. So the point here is the transaction has not happened between the two direct players, but the transaction has happened between their parent company and an associate company. And the share transactions has happened, and the worth of that particular deal is $11.2 billion. And if the transaction happened, then what happened to Government of India? Then Government of India said the shares of Indian company Hutchison SR purchased by the Vodafone. And when Vodafone purchased the Hutchison SR indirectly, Vodafone has gained something from that shares. So when you purchase, when you once you purchase a share, when you are selling that share to a particular person, and if you gain anything out of that, you have to pay capital gain tax to the Government of India. And in this case, Vodafone has gained lot of capital gains, so it must pay the tax to the Government of India. And the issue is, they said like this transaction has not happened in India, this transaction had happened somewhere else. That too here Cayman Islands that happened. And you may get a doubt why it has happened in Cayman Island. Why not it happened in India or in Hong Kong or in Netherlands? Because the Hutch company based in Netherlands, or not even UK, where the Vodafone has its own base. Because in order to avoid the taxation in these countries, they have specifically chosen a tax haven called Cayman Island. And in this Cayman Island, there is no income tax. You no need to pay any tax on that capital gains. So they have made a transaction, and in that they haven't paid tax anywhere. It is something like a zero taxation system. And at that point of time, our income tax says that if the transaction happened in India, then only you can collect the capital gain. For the foreign transactions, you cannot collect the capital gain. So that was the issue. And the income tax has given notices to the Vodafone, and the case went to the High Court, and High Court has said the income tax, the judgment was given in favor of the income tax department, but later the case went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said rightly that okay, your legislation says that you cannot tax the foreign transaction, and why you are taxing this Vodafone? That means the judgment is in favor of the Vodafone. Then Pranab Mukherjee, the then finance minister, has brought an amendment to the income tax by saying that okay, you went to the Supreme Court, so I am amending the tax. I am amending my taxation laws in such a way that the cross-border transaction happened, and if the underlying assets are present in India, that means even if the transaction is trans-border, but if the underlying assets are in India, then you will be liable to pay the tax. That means the Hutchison SR assets are in India. The shares related to the Hutchison SR are transacted outside. So the underlying assets, when they are present in India, and if you are doing the transaction with those underlying assets which are present in India, then you have to pay tax to the Government of India. But one thing he has done is he amended that Income Tax Act 1961 retrospectively from 1962 onwards. That means from 1962 to 2012, if any transaction happened outside the India, but those underlying assets are in India, now government can revisit those cases, and government can ask to pay the tax for the past transactions. So that was the entire story of the 2012 amendment to the Income Tax Act of 1961. So what is the problem with this taxation system? The problem with this taxation system is When Vodafone has tried to invest in India, or whether Kane or any of the companies tried to invest in India, our legislations are something different. But once they have invested in India, suddenly you have changed the legislations retrospectively. That means tomorrow also you can you can bring a legislation which can have a retrospective effect of last 50 years, and you can harass the companies to pay the more and more taxes. So this is not acceptable. This may not encourage the investors to invest in India, because there are no certainty in your legislations, policies and administrative practices. When they are investing in your country, and when you promise something, when your legislation says something, it should continue. And though you have a sovereign right to bring that legislations, but this may not increase, or this may not improve the confidence of the foreign investors in our country. So that is the problem. And the Vodafone is, we went to see, the Vodafone went to the International Court of Arbitration. See, the total amount we wanted to collect it from the Vodafone is around 22,100 crore. And when it comes to the Kane Energy, this is also the same case like with the Vodafone, and we want to collect it from 10,247 crore, but with including penalty and interest, it went up to 30,700 crore. Likewise, we have issued a notices, or the total amount of such capital gain taxes of the 17 such transactions is worth of 1.10 lakh crore. That means, like the Vodafone and SR, there are other 15 transactions, in total 17, and the amount that the government of India is claiming from that companies is 1,10,000 crore amount of rupees. And immediately this Vodafone and Kane Energy went to the Permanent Court of Arbitration, that is present in Hague. And in both the cases, India has lost. That means the government of India has lost the case, because there are already bilateral investment treaties were there at that point of time, and in that treaty you have assured the foreign countries that they will respect the legislations of that particular day. So that means they are not going to bring the changes to the legislations in whatever they want. So that is what the entire gist of that bilateral investment treaties. And we have violated that bilateral investment treaty, because we have promised something and we have amended it in a different way. And why we have brought that? Because the transaction is entire zero transaction, they are not paying any tax anywhere. So there is a the Pranab Mukherjee's idea was, there should not be any transaction without paying tax anywhere. But the Vodafone transaction and Kane Energy transactions are such. So that is why we have a power, and that is why we have brought. But this has reduced the sentiments about the Indian economy. So that is exactly the problem. Now when it comes to the Vodafone, they went to the Permanent Court of Arbitration. In both the cases, the government of India has lost. And in Kane Energy case, the Permanent Court of Arbitration has asked the government of India to pay back $1.2 billion, and also $500 million of interest to the Kane Energy. And immediately Kane Energy went to the different courts by showing this judgment of Permanent Court of Arbitration, and it is taking the order from the judiciary of various countries to attach the assets of India. And the famous case was the France, they have tried to attach. So now in order to remove all these anomalies, government of India now come with a clean measure, and it is a very good, welcome and encouraging measure. That measure is to done away the whatever the amendment that was brought in the year 2012. And here the bill proposes to amend the Income Tax Act of 1961 so as to provide that no tax demand shall be raised in future on the basis of said retrospective amendment for any indirect transfer of Indian assets if the transaction was undertaken before May 28, 2012. That means if your transaction has taken place before May 28, 2012, we are not going to collect any of the tax with respect to this retrospective. But from May 2012 onwards, if these type of indirect transaction had happened and those underlying assets are India, definitely you have to pay the capital gain tax. But we are not going to make the retrospect, we are not going to apply those retrospective changes to the existing companies. And one more point they have added is, and we will do this only on fulfillment of specific conditions such as the withdrawal of pending litigations and an undertaking that no claims for cost, damage and interest etc. shall be filed. That means now the Vodafone and Kane Energy and other companies have to withdraw their cases, and they are not going to make any future claims on this entire issue. That means they are not supposed to go to the any other arbitrator or any other court on this retrospective system. And if you give such undertaking and if you withdraw those cases, then we are ready to abolish all these things to you, and we are not supposed to sue you in any court, and we are not supposed to demand anything from you. And moreover, whatever you have paid till now, and the total paid amount till now was 8,100 crore, and in that almost 7,000 crore was paid by Kane Energy alone, and this 8,100 crore will be returned to the companies and they will pay only principal amount. They are not going to pay any interest on that. That means in a very unbusiness friendly move that was brought in the year 2012 was now removed from the statute books. That means we are going to send a message to the foreign entities that we are not going to make an inconsistency in our legislations. We are committed to a consistency in the legislation. We are not going to harass the investors with this type of retrospective legislation. If we want to bring something, definitely we will bring and we will apply it prospectively but not retrospectively. So I think this move was very good move, and it will create a lot of confidence to the foreign investors, because it is an issue of sentiment. It is an issue of sentiment, because a lot of investors feels like why this government is doing like that, why they are not abide with the promises that they have given at the time of investments. And in the year 2014, the Arun Jaitley, the former finance minister, has claimed this term as a tax terrorism. That means you are terrorizing the investors with these retrospective taxes. But he said that we are not going to levy any new taxes with this retrospective, but he did not remove that provision from the income tax legislation. But I think now the time has arisen and the government of India has seriously thought about this, and now they have removed this retrospective thing from the legislative things. That means they have not removed it, but the application of that particular portion that was added in the year 2012 is not going to apply retrospectively, but it can only apply prospectively. And that too, that application of retrospectiveness is depending on few conditions, like they must withdraw the cases, and also they must give an undertaking that they are not supposed to claim any cost, damage or interest etc. So perhaps I think this is a very good move, and it is going to attract a lot of foreign investors, and it will moreover improve a business sentiment in our economy. Okay, I hope you understood. Thank you.